Right. We are moving into are we ready for the circular economy with sustainable recycling solutions for polyurethanes? I'd like to introduce the gentleman. I'm going to speak in his voice as he wrote his profile. My name is Nagesh Pillai. I started my career in footwear manufacturing and I left the industry as a footwear technologist after 21 years relocating Johannesburg. I joined BASF in 2020 at the height of COVID in business development for footwear portfolio. My roles have evolved over time and currently oversee the sales and business development of multiple portfolios, including appliance, transportation, and furniture. I'm passionate about food and wildlife. The kitchen and the Kruger are my favorite places. Thank you so much. Please come forward. I look forward to hearing what you have to say. Nagesh, give him a round of applause. Now that you love the kitchen, I hope lunch is from you whilst we're here today.
We can take a try. Good morning, everybody. I'm also like Joanne challenged. I need to use glasses now. And while I speak about Joanne, maybe we can look at your shoes and give it a second life. Good morning again. As introduced, my name is Nagesh Pillai. I'm from BASF Southern Africa. And thank you for Circular Energy for inviting us to speak about our programs and what BASF globally and more especially in the EMEA region is doing in terms of sustainability and second life of the products we are involved with. The presentation that I have is in two parts. The first part was done by Dr. Mark Stanford and presented at the UTech Festival conference in Holland this year. And then thereafter, we will look at what we are doing in Southern Africa in terms of creating second life for the products we're involved in. So for those of you who don't know what polyurethanes are, polyurethane is a chemical compound made of two products, an isocyanate and a polyol. When we react them, we get a product called a foam, and you can get different types of foams like rigid foams. Your seats, your fridge insulation, your geyser insulation are products that we are involved in. So, based on the EMEA region that we work in, and statistics pulled out from Europe, less than 10% of plastic waste is recycled today. Our key areas of focus for our industry, performance materials, is packaging waste, textile waste, end-of-life tires, mattress foams, and shredded residue. You look under there, we have 16 tons, 6 tons, 3 tons, 2, and 2 respectively. Significant volumes of post-consumer recyclate will remain a challenge. And the key challenges for this is the contamination of the feedstock is a major pitfall. Industrial sorting is not yet possible and insufficient in today. Recycling is optimized for metal retrieval. Limited share of performance materials, polymers such as polyamide, polybutylene, polyurethane, and thermoplastic polyurethane is limited. Climate change as a resource scarcity and waste purpose major challenges pose major challenges that directly affect the entire plastic industry. The global challenge is climate change and waste reduction, waste resource scarcity, implementation of the plastic industry, carbon management, and circular economy. BASF Performance Materials targets is 25% by 2030, net zero by 2050. At 2030, we are 20% of our target. Plastic circularity builds on two key requirements, recyclability and circular content. What happens at plastics end of life? You can either recycle of the plastics at a scale required. Considerable consideration needs to be given to what happens to the product at end of life. We look at use and recycle phase. And the circular content, we look at how we produce plastics. Our laboratory quotas for post-consumer waste as feedstock. In the manufacturing phase, we look at how we produce our products, enabling them to use as products in the next life. We look at how we make phase. Elevating the standards, state-of-the-art comparison of polyurethane waste treatment. We look at energy demand and homogeneity of waste. It's broken into two phases, the chemical treatment phase and the mechanical phase. In Europe, we look at gasification, incineration, and depolymerization. These are very cost effective. It requires a lot of money to install these types of processes. In Africa and the emerging markets, we look at PU waste composite and mechanical recycling. Gasification, incineration, depolymerization is currently being done in Europe and being trialed at some of our sites in Europe. PU waste composite, we are looking at emerging markets where we are doing recycling of lightweight materials, and we are closing the end loop for our products. We have very limited applications on our PU composite waste, and some of the products that we will look on later on is what we are doing. Enabling circularity through innovative polyurethane solutions. Currently, we are transforming thermoforming waste foam into reused. And some of the products that we use today, if you're not aware, most mattresses manufacturers that we sleep on in South Africa, there is a component of recyclable waste where the base layer is made of chip foam that is recycled from waste foam combined with some of BASF binders are used as a base layer, where mattress manufacturers create a supporting layer onto which they put your springs, and then obviously your top layer of mattress that helps you support during sleep. We're also closing the loop by reforming, recycling, and recycling polyol, where we take the foam and depolymerize it and create new polyols that are used in further processing into virgin polyols. And then we get TPU blend, where we're using the recycled TPU into producing virgin TPU materials. Innovation across industries, showcasing recyclability. Various examples show recyclability of polyurethanes. Technology enables waste-free production. Most are mostly in the pilot phase. Our pre-industrial waste is a starting point for BASF. Post-consumer waste is a target if it's feasible. Technically, we are ready at readiness level 6 in Europe. If you look at the right of the slide, we look at cycling seats, where we're using recycled PU foams as one of the layers. In steering wheels, recycled PU is used as a base compound for producing new steering wheels. And for footwear outsoles, we are using BASF's recycled materials to produce new footwear soles. Currently, we're doing it in Europe and in the Far East, where we're using between 15 and 20% of recycled waste to produce new outsoles. Not to mention brands, Adidas is one of our partners that we are trying to use new recycled waste and give products second life. Sustainability success, striking the perfect harmony, proof of recyclability of polyurethane safeguards business. That means we can find ways to reuse polyurethanes, reducing the cost of products produced. Combining the effort of sustainability, not compromising the performance, production waste can be used as raw materials for future forms. Commercializations of most of our projects is taking place in 2024. So as a company, BASF needs to put our money where our mouth is. So BASF globally, especially in emerging markets, have embarked on a program called Starting Ventures. Starting Ventures is our initiative for social entrepreneurship. We operate in South America for Starting Ventures, Asia and Africa. In 2023, we proposed a project for Starting Ventures for BASF South Africa to reuse recycled PU waste. We were fortunate to be awarded the project with our partner Sia Pambili, based in Shangweni, South Africa, Shangweni, KZN, where we were awarded 100,000 euros. If you convert, that's in about 2 million rand for this Starting Ventures project. And what is our project? Sia Pambili is a non-profit organization, like I indicated, based in Shangweni, aimed to empower women and youth in the impoverished area. The intention is to create skills, provision of employment opportunities, capacity building to address polyurethane footwear waste issues that pose serious environmental challenges. We intend to set up a plant. Sia Pambili seeks to establish a polyurethane plant for waste recycling to create an innovation solution for its partner Arena Trims. The plant will provide waste management solution for footwear manufacturers in South African region by collecting, crushing and binding PU waste with one of the binders supplied by BASF to form PU sheets which will be cut out and then reused in footwear, whereby we will reduce the consumption of virgin polyurethane used in footwear production. Through this project, what we aim to achieve, reduce the amount of PU disposed in landfill, provide a circular waste valorization solution for footwear companies, train youth and women in the Shangweni area on PU recycling, and provide opportunities for employment and entrepreneurship. Our challenge to resolve landfill remains the most common way of polyurethane footwear waste disposal. Currently, in South Africa, we use 3,000 tons of PU for footwear production. We estimate that 10% of this is post-manufacturing waste that comes directly from the manufacturing plant. That is 300 tons that currently goes into landfill. Over the next 5 years, we would like to remove that waste from the plant and reuse them in alternative products. Our social business model, recycle and value addition of PU waste. This will be converted into PU insoles, which will be resold to footwear manufacturers, consumers, and retailers. So one of our partners in this is Bayer Footwear, one of the largest manufacturers of industrial footwear in sub-Saharan Africa. Working with them and Arena Trims and another manufacturer of footwear components, Sia Pimbili has already started producing footwear insoles where they employ 20 people in Shangweni. Our intention is to increase that to 40 people through our project where we'll collect waste at the production plants, transport it to Shangweni. The key thing here is that the collection point for the waste is within 15 kilometers of the production plants. Then we identified startup requirements. We require a PU shredding machine, a PU plate pouring machine, polyurethane molds, and transport facilities or apparatus. The targets for our year one, we want to establish the plant by purchasing the machine and start the pouring phase, and the transportation we will outsource, and once we have sufficient income, we will then purchase a machine locally. In year two, we want to introduce a solar electricity installation that would help continue production during the frequent load shedding blackouts. And year three, we would upcycle the plant into a new cutting machine to ensure that they are able to meet the optimization of the waste. So, our social and environmental needs. For BASF, we are in excess of 112,000 employees globally. For each employee, sustainability is a KPI. And this is being driven from the top down. All of us have the KPI for sustainability as our key driver. In partnering with CF Pembili, we achieve our SDGs. We reduce poverty, we reach gender equality because our intention is to employ mostly women. We create decent work and economic growth for an area that has no other industry. And we do sustainability, city and communities, partnerships for goals. Our project's social impact is creating employment, reducing PU waste, recycling and reusing, reducing poverty, training and skills development. And what we need is partners. So BASF as a company, we produce chemicals. We don't produce an end product, and most people identify us as the cassette producers, for those of us who know what cassette is. So we are in every product. We touch everyone's lives in this room. We're in your bread, your headache tablets. Those people who drive German cars, we sit on our phones. We look for partners. Frequently, we have customers that we produce water heaters for, refrigeration, that we involved in insulation, that come to us and ask us, how can we partner? The steel in water heaters or geysers, as commonly known, is easily recyclable because there's a demand for steel. But the insulation foam is where we have a challenge. And if people could partner with some of you sitting in this room to create second life for those products, we are very, very much interested in that. Jeremiah, my colleague sitting next to you, Faraleni, will talk to you about HFCs and how we can partner with the environmental agency of the country to reduce that in the country. So, thank you.
Thank you.